On today's Domain Sherpa review, the Sherpas talk about roommatch.com, mungi.com, and oconsulting.com, including how much they paid or received for them. Then a crypto portfolio is evaluated with specific insights about investing in the crypto vertical. Plus great domains like deposit.com and datamonitoring.com are heading to auction soon on NameJet. Hear what Shane Coltra, Amar Kuba, and Jen Sale think are winners and losers in auction this week. Stay tuned. Hey, Sherpa Network. Thanks so much for joining us today. I'm Tess Diaz, Executive Producer of DomainSherpa.com, and this is the Domain Sherpa Review. This is a show where we get into the minds of successful domain name investors using real examples so we can learn strategies and tactics to become better investors ourselves. We have 3 segments to the review. We'll start off learning what the Sherpas recently bought or sold. Next, we'll discuss in value an investor-submitted domain name portfolio. And finally, we'll review some domains going to auction soon at NameJet.com and whether the Sherpas think they're a good investment opportunity for you. Joining us today on the Domain Sherpa Review are 2 past and 1 new Sherpa, but always known as a thought leader. I'd like to introduce Jen Sale. Jen, I should have asked you before we started, what is your title at Evergreen?
COO, so basically just operations, yeah.
Excellent. Well, you do a lot in operations. I would not put a just in front of that. And we have Amar Kuba joining us again, domain name investor, serial entrepreneur, and angel investor. And our very own Shane Coltra in a different background in his garden, because he's publisher of the blog dsad.com, but also owner of the Country Arbors Nursery in Illinois. Is that your nursery or that's your personal garden?
No, that's my house. I'm in my backyard.
Well, it's just as beautiful as your staircase, but different.
Thank you.
And Jen, we're delighted you woke up bright and early to film with us. Thank you so very much.
Yeah, I think you guys had to cater for me. I think it's like cocktail hour over there now, isn't it?
It's getting close.
I don't know. What are you offering?
Oh, man. I need a glass of wine.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. Nice. Well, let's jump in. Let me tell you first real quick about the sponsors for our show. They help to bring this show to everyone, to help educate the industry and grow our ecosystem as a whole. Part 1 here, we're going to jump into the first segment of the show called What's New Sherpas, where the Sherpas share one purchase or sale that they've made over the past few weeks, and we get to learn what they paid or received for the domain, why they thought it was a good deal, and how the negotiations progressed. I'll lead you through the questions, and then after, the Sherpas get to comment during the process. Jen, you're first. What have you bought or sold lately, one domain that you would like to share with the Sherpa Network?
This was a little bit stressful, getting a name, because I had to ask a few clients, and they normally don't like us sharing that information. So I had to revert to my buddy Adam, and he's allowed me to share one of his sales that I recently brokered for him. So the domain is roommatch.com.
Ooh, roommatch.com. And just for our Sherpa Network, anyone who isn't aware, she's referring to Adam Strong, who is the CEO of Evergreen, and you're the COO?
Correct.
Okay, cool. So roommatch.com. Next, you guys get to guess. Amar, you look very intent. Plus, Shane's drinking, so you get to go first.
Roommatch.com. You sold it for Adam. Is that right, Jen?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm going to say $25K.
Okay. Keep your poker face on, Jen. Shane, what do you got? What do you think? Roommatch.com.
I know Adam doesn't need money, so he took my time. But everybody likes money. I know he likes it. So doesn't mean just because he doesn't need it doesn't mean he doesn't want it. I'm gonna say $15K. I just feel like Adam needed a room addition that maybe he took the money. So I'll say 15,000.
Is he remodeling or is that a random joke?
He moved into a new house. He's got a little work to do.
So Shane, you're pretty much neighbors with him, like an hour and a half away.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're about 50 miles away.
In the domain world, that's neighbors.
No,
it's definitely not Jen down in Australia.
Yeah, I'm much closer to Adam than Jen is. Yeah.
But Jen, I mean, you talk to Adam like all day, every day, right?
Most days, yeah.
Yeah.
Most days.
Okay.
Sorry about that. I'm like the grandparent. I just see him when I want to see him.
Roommatch.com. What'd you broker it for, Jen?
Well, Shane is the winner, 15K.
Very nice.
Very nice.
The
So tell
benefits
us,
of knowing the room needs addition, so it needs remodeled.
tell us about the brokerage process. Was it an inbound inquiry? Were you outbound marketing it? How'd it go?
Yeah, so it was inbound, and original listing price was 20K. So we didn't come down too much. Their opening offer was, I think, 10, and there was a little bit of back and forth. And I think from go to woe, it was closed in about 2 or 3 weeks.
That's pretty good. So, so go to woe, is that an Australian saying? Or do I just not know?
Normal saying. Oh, maybe it is Australian.
It's a normal saying.
I don't know. Amar, Shane, normal?
I knew what she meant.
I knew what she meant. Yeah.
I haven't used that term before. Start to finish is more of a term that I
I did warn you.
We'll have an Australian glossary at the end of this. Sorry, I could have asked you something more professional than that, but so that sounds like an excellent, pretty seamless negotiation. 2 to 3 weeks. Did you leave some time before you answered strategically? You know, were you like, oh, I'll take this to, Adam and get back to you and leave them hanging?
Well, I think for us, there's always like a natural delay with us as well, with time zones and days. I usually catch him in his PM the day before of my AM. So there's always kind of like 24-hour delays. Yeah.
Okay. So not strategic.
Which I think works nice.
Incidental.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, good sale. Congrats. Very nice. Who is up next? Shane, it's all you.
All right. Well, I had a sale. I sold Mungy, M-U-N-G-Y, Mungy.com.
MUNGY.com.
Yeah.
Okay. Mungy. I would have to, if I guessed, I would have said go to woe more in my life than I've said Mungy.
Me too.
Okay, Amar, what do you think you paid? Oh, you went first last time. How about you, Jen? Sorry.
No, I sold it.
He sold it. Go ahead, Jen.
Well, turns out it's a dictionary word.
Yeah.
Who would have known? Rhymes with bungee. I don't know. A messy, gloppy, often gooey or oily, mungy leftovers.
Mm.
It's kind of like it's catchy, like memorable. I would say I would say 20,000.
Okay, 20,000. 5letter.com dictionary. Okay, Amar?
Well, just because I think it is a little bit funny to spell.
Yeah, because it could be GIE at the end or, yeah. Amar, what do you think?
So I think Shane is the most reasonable and rational of all the Sherpas. So I think he's smart. He probably paid very little or not a lot for the name. And he knows it's smarter, wiser to take the money off the table and reinvest. So I think he took, I'm going to say 15 for the name. I think it's a I have a lot of Y names like, Minty, Peachy. I like those kind of names a lot. But this one is, as Jen said, I mean, it's a real word, but it's not a word that that we've heard of, right? So, but it's a good brand. So I'm going to go with 15.
Okay, cool. Did you say you have minty and peachy?
Yeah.
Wow, I like
I have a bunch of those Y type names, and I have lousy. So what'd you pay, Shane? Or what'd you sell for, Shane?
Well, I'm much more reasonable than you think. So no, I didn't get anywhere near that. I sold it for $2,500, and I'll give you the backstory. I have
How much?
$2,500.
$2,500. Okay.
Yeah. So I did $2,500, and this is something that's been many years where she's been emailing me, and she has I think just a small publishing.
Shane, you're cutting out a little bit. How many years?
I think it's been over 2 or 3 years.
Oh, wow.
Since we've been working with her. So she had a small little publishing company, and she once a year would check in, and she just caught me on a day where she said she'd have it by the end of the day, and within 4 hours it was over, and there was $2,500 in my account. I bought a couple more 5Ls and still had 2,000 left over. So I have a huge portfolio of 5Ls just like that, like HAPPA, KO. Back in the day, that's what I registered for $10, lots of 5 letters. And I sell about one a week. It's like, if I can get 2,500, 3,000, and it's a replaceable name, it's kind of how I make my income. I'm sure I could get 15 or 20 on some of the names, but there's some names where if I haven't had an offer but one person over 3 years and she gives me 2,500, it seemed like something she could really use. I don't really fall for that, I need the name. But in this case, I think it was 2,500 was fair, something she was willing to do, and we got it done quickly and worked out great. And like I said, it's like one a week lately. It's nice income for a nurseryman.
See, I was right. He is the most rational.
Yeah,
You have a point there too, that over 3 years you didn't get another offer. That helps you measure what are the chances that another offer besides this lady is going to come in and it's going to be higher.
Yeah, I mean, it was a win-win across the board. The name really, that's a name of her company. She was persistent. The first time I told her 2,000 3 years ago, and it kept going up. And, I think I started with like 4,000, 5,000, and she just hit me on a right night where I thought, I'm looking for a new gravel bike. It costs about $3. So, that's what she paid, and that's how it worked. So, and I went and bought a couple more 5Ls that night that I thought were equal or better, and I still had money left over. So that's how I roll. It's a little different. I'm sure I could have held out, but like you said, there wasn't any other offer, so I might as well have taken it and keep moving on.
Yeah, I certainly know as brokers, we like to research whether we're acquiring or selling. We try to research who we're talking to and find out, oh, this guy's a nurseryman. I've never heard you say that before.
Yeah.
And there can be different perspectives. And I remember, I think it was with Drew.com that Drew was saying he just pinged them once a year and sometimes something changes. Amar, Jen, you guys have seen that too over time, right?
Yep. And there's, like Drew said, I have names where people have been reaching out once every 6 months, once a year. And they say, hey, you still have the name. I see you're still not using it. I say, yep, I'm still not using it. But if you want to pay me for it, you can use it.
Yeah.
But, like I said, I tend to be less reasonable and less rational than Shane. So, but I've been trying to work on being more like Shane.
And it really depends on the name. You're not going to take botany or monkey wrench or blowtorch out of my hands for $2,500. But you have a better chance of my 5 letters have been sitting there waiting for 10 years.
Yeah.
You got to still have some income.
And 85% of domain names sold on the aftermarket are between $50,000 and $5,000. And I think this is what we're talking about. While a larger name like Room Match is going to have kind of empirical data behind the sales price, something like, I can't even remember it, Mungie is there's more room for flexibility. So good for you.
When I'm getting 20 times my input cost, so anytime I'm getting 20 times my cost, I feel comfortable leaving on an exit.
I like it. Yeah.
Sure.
Very nice. All right, Amar, we got all the suspense built up here. No pressure, man. What'd you buy or sell?
I'm actually really, really anxious to hear what you guys think of this deal I did. I just sold oconsulting.com. The letter O, consulting.com.
Interesting. Okay. Shane, what do you think?
Well, I know he's not reasonable. I just heard that.
Or rational.
Or rational.
But I'm trying to be like you, so I'm trying to be more reasonable and rational.
Well, I think O Consulting is a bit more limiting, so that I think there's only so many companies that are consultants and have the letter O in the beginning. So that being said, they could be a huge consulting company, and there's only one guy that has the name that they need. So we'll put it all together, and I will say, with this new reasonability, I will say I'm going to go with 15K again. I think that's a little bit more limiting of a name than a more broader term. So I think he takes 15K for something that he didn't have to pay a lot for.
Okay. All right. Are you going to send him a visor if he wants to be like you?
It would look good. He would.
Right?
He look more like a bank teller than I would. I'm a football coach. He looks like a teller.
Jen, what do you think? O Consulting.
Well, I've worked with Amar on some of his names, so I'm a little bit familiar with the prices that he likes to achieve. And we, funnily enough, just broke it a name it was another keyword.com for a lot more, but similar in nature. So I'm going to say 30.
30. Okay.
Yeah. Well,
Man.
based on what we did, I'm hoping that's close to what he got.
Yeah. I would think the I in front is more valuable of a keyword than an O, but O is kind of cool. All right. Drum roll.
Oh man, you guys overestimated me. Maybe I took the be like Shane too much to heart. I only got 7K. So
you did fine on that. I mean, there's only so many people that can use that name.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I've had it almost 5 years to the day, 5 years last, and I got it in May 2013. I paid 400 something, I think, for it. And it's only had 2 or 3 inquiries over the years. And, I was just kind of like, again, my mantra is to try to, do more volume and be smart about, moving more inventory. It's the right thing to do, especially with the ones that aren't premium, right? I wouldn't sell a premium name, just like, Shane said, for anything, like that. But to me, this was first of all, O at the beginning of a name is not great, and consulting. So I thought I started at 10, and the guy's first offer was 3,800, I think, and took about 8 days, and we just settled on 7K, and so it was pretty smooth transaction, and I was actually happy because I didn't think that, I wouldn't pay that much for it if I was a buyer. And
and you can buy several much better names with that money and have money left over.
Right, but it was a great fit for them. I don't know if they're going to use it for. It's a company out of Germany, I believe, and so I'm sure they'll use it. And so that's like Shane said earlier, it's a win-win. So. But I guess I'll have Jen broker all my names from now on.
That's right.
Funny, it was a company out of Germany. My dentist is O Dentistry, and it's a German guy, Obernuffermann.
Got it.
Just go with the O.
Right. I thought it was more like online consulting, maybe, but I don't know.
Oppenheimer.
Something.
We'll find out. Give it a couple of weeks and check it out. Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. That's a good summary, I think. Thank you each for sharing, and congrats on each of your transactions. I'm going to take a moment and tell you about the sponsors for today's show who support us in our mission to educate people in the domain industry. First, Serious about online trading? Secure your funds, keep your merchandise safe, and use a company that keeps the buyer and seller protected the whole way through. That's escrow.com. Payments you can trust. All right. In the domain portfolio review, we take user-submitted domain name portfolios and provide honest and constructive feedback to the owners so they can either cut their losses, continue to hold them long-term, or figure out a sales strategy going forward. Today's portfolio is from Antonio Waller. It's primarily crypto domains, 21.com. It might be exclusively crypto domains, 21.com domains. If you're watching the show, this is the point where you probably want to push the pause button, review the domains yourself. They're down below on DomainSherpa.com, and you can price what you would pay for these domains. Pick your top 3, your bottom 3, and then come back and listen as the Sherpas share their thoughts on the domains. That's really the way that our Sherpa network can improve your thinking, just like in the last segment when we heard the Sherpas talk through their thought processes. Think about the trends, think about what you've heard about crypto, and let's see what happens. Amar, you go first on this one. So you have the 21.coms?
Yep. So we'll start with just the first thoughts about the portfolio. Overall, I don't love it. I just don't love it. I'm assuming most of these were hand reg, or a lot of them at least. But the ones I really do like, I like coinsquadron.com. That one's pretty good. I like Cryptocurrency Girl. That's a pretty good brandable. There's a lot of women, a lot more women getting into crypto these days. And I think, that's a good way to brand. I think that's a pretty good brand. I think I might have cryptogirl.com or cryptochick.com. I know I have cryptobro.com, which gets some love. So I like Coin Squadron, Cryptocurrency Girl, and I kind of like maybe Tiny Bitcoin. I don't know. That's something I don't know what, of all the others, those are the 3 that I like. And I really don't like Tiny Bitcoin that much, but that would be the third one. And
nice.
Yes. Oh, am I supposed to do all 3 parts? What advice would I give?
If you want, yeah, sure.
Okay. A lot of these are hard to pronounce. They're subject to typos. They definitely, a lot of them, especially the bottom of the list, don't pass the radio test. So I would just try to focus more on really focusing on something that is easy to remember, easy to spell, and that you could imagine somebody would want. Oh, Kryptonistas is not bad, but still, I think it might be hard to. It might not pass the radio test, but that one's okay. Kryptonistas.
Yeah, I think Antonio is also a Spanish speaker, and I think he's trying to merge some things. Like this one, Crypto Maniaco is like Crypto Maniac.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah. So maybe in Espanol that one would do well. So, but the best one for me is Coin Squadron. I like that one.
Okay, cool. Would you mix Spanish and crypto together?
Yeah, I mean, if he's selling to that market, it's a huge market, right? The Spanish-speaking market is really big, and so if that's a good niche for him, and he can get some velocity going there, then that's great.
Nice. So maybe test it out.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Fair enough. Thank you, Omar. Who's up next? Jen, you're up next.
I also picked out Coin Squadron as one of the better ones. Also, Cryptonistas was another one that I picked out. I don't mind Bitcoin Shed as kind of a brandy kind of one. I definitely stay away from anything with the word Ethereum in it. Ethereum's actually a trademark of the Ethereum Alliance, and I have it on good authority that they plan to go after that quite strongly at some point in the future. So I'd advise people to stay away from that. But as an alternative, I would suggest using Ether. Ether is a dictionary word. It's going to be a lot harder for someone to try and go after that as a trademark. So I think overall, like, I'd advise to focus on coming up with more like clever brand names, and it doesn't mean you need to have crypto or, you know, cryptocurrency, the keyword in there. Like, you can use the shortened version, like bit something. One of Adam's is digipurse.com. So it's kind of coming up with, you know, I can see these word mashes.
Does Adam have digimanpurse.com?
Why don't you register that right now? And that can be what you present on your next show.
He'll love that one. Yeah, so that's kind of, you know, my advice would be, to come up with more of those like clever brandables, and, you know, looking at synonyms of words in finance and shortening those and coming up with prefix and suffixes, because there's still, you know, there are a lot of startups in this vertical, and they may not have deep pockets to spend it on a oneword.com. So if you do come up with something clever, you've got a good chance, you know, of moving that inventory. But if this was my portfolio, I'd be parking it, adding a custom for sale banner, listed across all the major marketplaces. And if it doesn't sell in 12 months, drop it and invest in something else.
Thank you, Jen. That's really, really concrete and helpful, especially with the deadline. It's a good point. All right, Shane, what do you and your garden think?
So I don't really like any of them either. I mean, from go to blow, none of them are my type of name.
It's go to woe.
Go to woe.
I don't think I've either one.
Oh,
it was go to something.
I mean, they maybe not my type of name, but it's too easy. Sorry.
That's great.
No, I'm glad I went last on this one. I was joking I thought it was all the same name all the way down. I mean, it's a hot market, and I can see why people want to get in it, especially if you're new to the market. It's appealing to see all the crypto names. So you just go for it and you start spinning names and coming up with things that aren't taken. And I think that's probably what he did here. And the brands are where you want to go. The more brandable it is, the better it's going to be. And most of these, I don't see that. I think I've even seen extra Bitcoin come through the auctions already. I'm not sure if he was a purchaser or had it up for auction, but I've seen it and I don't think it went anywhere. Quick Crypto Squadron, I saw Bitcoin Shed was probably okay. Tiny bit. I think we're agreeing on all of those. And same thing, you got to put a landing page, you got to put a buy and out price. And I think one of these names will sell and pay for all the hand registers, and I think you'll be fine. It's pretty been a proven business model lately to try and spin out some names and sell a couple of them and do well with it. And you might get lucky and get good price for one of them. And especially if you take Bitcoin, you seem to get a little better price if you'll take a little Bitcoin when you do it.
Right.
But This isn't my game at all. I missed it early. I didn't go in hard. I'm not a spinner of a name. I don't like a portfolio clogged up with tons of names and throwing darts on a dartboard. I've seen people do well. Josh that works with me at DSAD, he's spun a bunch of names. He's got a little trial going where he's going to see if he can sell them and get back to us and tell us how it went. I think this is a small version of that. So again, I think it's okay. I think if this is it's going to be a little rough going from this point on. I do suggest that Jen had a great, exactly how you do it. Put it up. If it sells, then buy names that aren't crypto and invest in names that maybe are a little more long-term. Not that crypto is not going to be here, but I think that the name sales are going to dwindle from this point. Only the best names will go for great money, and the rest will go for that $2,000, $500, $1,500. I think that they're being taken by domain investors. So,
Yeah.
I don't think it's that great. I think it's just a play, a one-time play for these next couple of years. And I think that he'll make money, but he won't make great money. So that's where I stand. I think they pretty much summed it up.
Yeah, thank you, Shane. I normally I don't jump in with my opinion, but I am here because on the media options brokerage end, I'm seeing tons of names come in with crypto, 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 crypto. Just like you're saying, Shane, you're like, it looks like one domain the whole way through. And I think to what you were saying, I think that was you, Jen. No, not the beep. The beep was my children. I mean, I think you were the one who said something about, the crypto space really likes brands. I mean, I know we brokered 7 figures this week of crypto domains, and they're looking for brands. They're rarely do they have the word crypto in them. And if they do, they're cool. I mean, I think of them like millennials. I know they all aren't, but I feel like their branding strategy is like millennials. And that's why, Crypto Squadron, sure, or DigiPurse, but they're not looking for exactly
Purse.
DigiPurse. We can have a race, see who sells first. Anyway, so that's I was going to say my 2 cents, but that's my 0.0002 Bitcoin.
But you've got good experience in that. You see the names that sell and what these companies are looking for. And, they can buy banana.com and make it into whatever they want. That's what makes these oneword.com so valuable. And the difference right now is the money that's coming in is from the crypto space. They have a lot of cash to spend. So it doesn't have to be crypto in the name to have crypto money buying the brands. A brand is a brand. It can be anything you want. And the hot money right now is crypto. But the hot money could be something else. So if you have a nice brandable, it can appeal to the next hot industry, and you can still sell that name to them too. That's what's so nice about these generics.
And when you see someone who's just poured all their money into 50 or 100 crypto domains, they could have bought a much nicer name that you're right, that could sell in the crypto space.
You're pigeonholed. You're crypto forever. If you're banana.com, whatever your company becomes, you're still good.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Very cool. Thanks, guys. And thank you, Antonio, for submitting that. I hope that the feedback was helpful for you. And we want to keep in touch, see how this advice affected your strategies going forward, and see what happens, which ones sell. Before we jump into the domains going to auction soon, I'd like to tell you about our sponsors who support Domain Sherpa in our educational mission. Finally, if you're a domain name investor, don't you have unique legal needs that require domain name technical know-how and industry experience? That's why you need Stephen Lieberman of Greenberg & Lieberman or Jason Schaefer of Esquire.com. Go search for Jason Schaefer or Stephen Lieberman on Domain Sherpa, watch their interviews, and you can see for yourself that they can clearly explain issues, can help you with buy-sell agreements, deal with website content issues and UDRP actions, and even help you write your website terms and conditions. Stephen Lieberman and Jason Schaefer are the lawyers to call for internet legal issues. See for yourself at Esquire.com or APlegal.com. We're going to move on to the marketplace list now. This segment is sponsored by NameJet. We're reviewing .com domain names heading to auction soon. If you like one of the names below, or you're just curious, click through soon, because once the auction starts, or once they go to auction, you lose your chance to put in the minimum bid, but you also lose the opportunity to even watch what's happening. The links below go directly to NameJet. We don't get commission or anything. NameJet likes to know who we're sending their way. So for transparency, I always start out asking if you Sherpas own or are brokering any of the names below.
No.
Nope.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I didn't hear. So if anyone on the Sherpa Network who's watching wants to press pause, this is the time to do that. Jump down and check it out. So Shane, you are first this time. What do you think?
All right. Well, I think to me, the most obvious one is deposit.com. And my eyes are bad, but I think that's deposit.com. Yeah, it's a great name. mean, there's so many industries that can use that. That to me is a 6-figure name, easy down the road. Just a beautiful short, too hard. You can't misspell it. You shouldn't misspell it. So I think that's the key name on the entire list today. One thing I'll point out, timeliness is great. Royal weddings, you can't get any more timely than that name. We just had, but how often does that happen? You know, you get it, every 5 years? You got to hit the iron when it's hot. And the plural, that's, what are you going to cover royal weddings? It's past. You just missed the gold when it comes to that one. So I think the name is good, but it would have been much better a year ago going into it, and you would have monetized it now. I don't know when the next one is, but I think it's going to be a while for the next royal wedding. I don't think there's any more kids to get married. I think we're looking at the little ones that are 5 years old until the next round of royal wedding. So I don't think the value's there as it was before. And it's plural. Same with organic fruits. I like a singular. I'm a big singular guy. I think they makes better brands. So those two with the plurals and the timeliness, I don't like as much. The other one that's interesting is underperform. We talk about names that are negative and you turn them into a positive. I bought uncomfortable.com, but underperform is one of the negative names. I am just not sure how you can turn that one around. I mean, it's negative. I don't see that one. That's to me just too negative. I don't know what I would do with that. I can't turn that one around. So I'll be interested to see what the other two think about that name. The other ones I just don't like. Stationary cycle, those are my least favorite types of names, where it's a product, but it's a product that's, not too exciting. You don't sell too many of them. And obviously there's, somebody who's selling it to me will say, hey, have you ever been to a gym? There's like 400 stationary cycles, and there's one in there. How about Peloton? They're not going to name Peloton stationarycycle.com. That's not going to be the brand of their company. So it has nowhere near the value of Peloton, but they're going to try and sell me. So those are names I just don't like. They're too generic. I've used them for marketing. If I had a company named Peloton, I might buy the name and then forward it to it in case somebody types it in and use that free traffic. But otherwise, it's just not what I'm going to brand my company on. So I'll leave it at that. I'll leave the other two some room there.
Thanks, Shane.
Yeah.
All right. Who is up next? Amar, you're it.
All right. So, the obvious one is deposit. That's a no-brainer. I mean, the question is going to be, what does it go for? And is there a reserve on it? So that's that could be a 7-figure name for the right person. That could be a crypto, right? That's a great one you could use for a crypto wallet. Somebody, can come buy it from you. But the question is, what does it go for? So that's hands down the best name on there. It's a question of value, though. The other names I like that might go under the radar are, I like gorilla.org. I think that's a really cool brand. And the problem with it is it's the alternative spelling of gorilla. So most people would think of gorilla like the primate gorilla, the monkey gorilla, but this is more like the, guerrilla fighters or the gorilla, like, I view it as a marketing company. I think that's an awesome brand for a marketing company. So I like that one a lot. And the other one I really like is Biomatrix. I like bio names. In Europe, bio means organic, I believe. And they're just also very brandable. It's also, right now, these kind of names are hot because we're talking about, genetic engineering and all, the biohacking and all that. It's just, there's so many different uses for that name, and I don't know how much it'll go for. Probably more now than that we talked about it, but that's one that I'd be bidding on. And so to answer Shane, those are the ones I really like. My webcast is pretty good. Somebody's going to buy that from you, and that you can probably get 5 figures for that name. Probably pretty. At some point, somebody will pay you 5 figures for the name. I don't like royal weddings. I don't like stationary cycle. I don't like really the other ones. Underperform is cool. So I agree with Shane. Obviously, it's negative. I think that that's going to end up being somebody's like blog, personal blog, or something, or it could just be an ironic name. I think that's a good brand. I would buy that name, and I would hold out for sure. I'd hold out for 5 figures on that name. I wouldn't sell it for less than 10K, and maybe it would never sell. Right? Maybe it would sit in my portfolio forever. But I think it's a cool name. I don't mind some of those names. Like I have neurotic.com and, like I said, lousy.com. Some names that are kind of, negative, but the right person comes along and they'll buy it. If you can get that one at a good price, it's a good deal.
Nice. Well, thank you. Yeah, good insights.
Thanks.
All right, Jen, what do you think?
Yeah, I've taken some notes, and I've pretty much made notes on every single one that these guys mentioned. So we're all pretty much on the same page. I think deposit, if you could get that on wholesale for 6 figures, you could definitely flip that for 7 at some point in time, whether it be in the crypto space or the financial space, banks. I mean, easy. Biomatrix, I actually looked that one up, and it's a huge supplement company. They did something like 6.1 million in 2014. So I think those guys need to get on top of that name. The other, Royal Weddings, I thought the same thing. I'd prefer the singular. I'd actually prefer theroyalwedding.com, which happens to be parked. So I think that one is better. That is whatever would call it. Underperform, I simply had negative on my note on that one. I don't really know what you would want to do with that. But the one that I liked as well that wasn't mentioned is data monitoring. And I just think everything, data is hot right now. Talk about the GDPR, we talk about data protection, we look at these breaches with Facebook, it's everywhere, cybersecurity. So I actually think that's a pretty decent name, and I don't know, I think that one could sell in the 6 figures. Wow. Adam owns cybersecurity.com, and seeing the inquiries and the level of inquiries that we get on that name, it's huge. So that's kind of my thoughts.
Thank you. Yeah, great insight and good catch on data monitoring. You're right. There's a lot going on there. Thank you guys, all 3 of you. So we're coming towards the end of today's show. This is when I typically give the Sherpas an opportunity to share anything going on in your lives, whether it's professional or personal, brokering, selling opportunities, anyone you want to give a shout out to. Amar, let's start with you.
I have nothing really to promote, but I'll say that I just recently got a name back that was on lease, and I'm really excited about it. I got tokenize.com, and so that's like perfect timing. So if anybody's interested in partnering up on it, I'm open. I'm not sure if I want to sell it or if I want to build it out. So, but that's kind of like, I'm pretty excited that I got it back. They didn't exercise their option, and I couldn't be happier.
That's really cool. How long did they lease it for?
1 year.
Okay. Tokenize.com. Very cool. Nice. Wow. Good luck. See what happens.
Thank you.
Shane, what do you got going on?
Well, I just lost my lease on Tokenize, so I'm really no. I actually haven't heard many lease stories. I actually, we talk about leasing all the time. So there's a show on leasing alone.
Yeah.
I just ask Amar, how did the website? I mean, did they treat the name well? They didn't mess it up on Google or
So actually, it's funny. I was talking to the guy yesterday or the day before about it, and what happened was their brand that they're going with is Token. and they were using tokenize.com, and the name, he actually said the brand was too powerful, that people kept calling him Tokenize instead of Token. And so the name of their product is Token. And so it was like detracting, almost kind of like causing confusion. So that's why they ended up not exercising on it. And so, but like I said, I'm happy because I just think the market right now for that space is great. And I've been going to a few different conferences, and every other word, on the presentations is, we're going to tokenize this, we're going to tokenize that. It's the tokenization of this or that. So I feel like I'm happy to have it back.
That's gold. So they've already basically tested it. There's no trademark. They've already handed it off and said no. And their problem is that it's too brandable. Like,
well, I mean, it was causing confusion. It was causing confusion for their for their customers and for their partners, because their company or their brand is Token, not Tokenize.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's really nice to know for a different venture that it's quite brandable.
Yeah.
It works. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so Shane, besides losing your lease on Tokenize.
Yeah, no, that was it's the same thing. At work, it's May in the United States. It's spring. It's gold. I mean, I've been telling people I could take my shoes off and put a plant in it and throw it at my nursery and I'd sell them. It's the crazy time of year. Americans love the garden and they love being outside, and for me, it's so busy. I talk to Michael Seiger. He's like, "Do you have time to talk? No. Do you have time to talk? No. Do you have time to talk? No. Can I pay you to be my friend? Yes." I feel I'm just this time of year I'm running in circles. So, but the blog we keep on, Travis and Josh and Aaron and I, we work hard at it every day. It may not seem like it, but we keep going and we're selling. It's a great time. If you've kept your names over the last 10 years, it's good time of year. Every night, I mean, even during the show, you just get offers all the time on all the names. It's a great time to be a domainer if you've been around a while and kept your name. So I think I'm like everybody else, keeping busy, answer the emails, taking cheaper offers than I should, evidently, based on the show. But yeah, dsad.com, and we get accused of self-promoting, but I haven't figured out what you're supposed to do on a blog besides self-promote. I'm not sure exactly what the point is, other than talk about what you're doing, and so anyway, that we're going to keep doing that. We've been doing it since 2009, so 9 years straight. We've only missed 20 days of posting the daily list, so whether it's right or wrong, it's consistent. So
Shane, that's incredible. And it is a ton of work you guys put into it. And if somebody reads it and doesn't think it's a ton of work, they should try to do the work themselves. Because I mean, it's a lot to know what's going on today. And you just do this a lot like Sherpa for the educational benefit and growth in the industry. I mean,
I just like talking, as you can tell. I mean, it's very mixed. It's about my family. Launchy's coughing over there. The air's thick in Australia.
I did warn you.
It's a little mungy.
I think she's calling bullshit on me right now. She's a bit mungy.
Yeah.
Oh, that was more English than Australian. Sorry about that. But yeah, no, it's if anything, your consistency sometimes can win. If you just keep at it, that sometimes has its own value. So, I only talk about what I know, and whether it can't be wrong if you're just telling your opinion and sharing your daily details. So that's what we do every day. And, whatever it is, I really enjoy talking about it. I realized over the course of 9 years that a lot of people share the same interests. Our life is domaining, but we've all got kids in the background, or wives in the background, or spouses. And I like to talk about how that intertwines in our worlds, because it is. I mean, it affects everything we do, and I don't mind sharing that at all. And it seems to resonate with people, because they'll say, they don't remember anything I say about domaining, but they'll say, "Hey, I remember you said that the best thing a dad can do for their kid is love their mother." I had like 5 people tell me that was the best thing I ever heard, and it had nothing to do with domain investing. So, anyway, so I just keep at it. But yeah, I appreciate everybody that stops by, and I love doing the show here as well. So
Thanks, Shane. How about you, Jen? Besides bringing,
besides dying from children infectious diseases in my household, so sorry. I've been like holding it in all show, and it's just here.
I should have shown you, Jen. If you need it, there's a mute button in the upper right. Sorry.
Oh, okay, good to know.
Yeah.
Dear entire audience. Sorry.
Yeah, can they use that
sooner?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we're just still focusing on oh geez, my throat is killing me. The oneword.coms. I think I'm going to attend ICANN Barcelona. I'm not sure who else is going to go to that. Yeah, woo, party. And so sorry. Yeah, we've still got some crypto names. Crypto-currency.com is one we've got at the moment. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I kind of feel like I should go before I pass out on air.
It's super generous of you to be here. And we have added the segment where I share what's going on in my life, thanks to Amar. For me, it's been a busy crypto week. You know, a couple weeks actually, because I write all the media options newsletters that go out, you know, on Tuesday and Thursday, but now I write the Wednesday one on crypto as well and manage all the submissions and stuff to that. And that's just been, I mean, there's so much happening in the crypto space. I don't speak a whole lot to the crypto buyers, mostly, you know, Drew and Chris Zeiker do. But I mean, just, I feel like every time I turn around, it's crypto. So in fact, I even was watching like an old show. I don't know if you've ever seen The Good Wife. It's on Amazon Prime right now. But there's an episode where they're like trying to figure out who Mr. Bitcoin is. And I'm like, I can't get away from this. And it's old. It's years old.
Wow.
So I guess, yeah, that's what's in the air right now, that and graduation. So, yeah. Saturday's your daughter's graduation?
Yeah, and we're going to be, your daughter is coming to University of Illinois, so you're going to get to come see me more often.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. Her graduation is tomorrow. And at the exact same time as my 8th grader's graduation, just, you know, to keep things spicy.
Right. Congratulations to both of you.
Yeah.
Thank you. But mostly to me, that I don't have to drive people to school anymore. All right. Thank you guys. I'm delighted that you're here. This was a wonderful show. To our Sherpa Network, if you've received benefit from today's show, please post a comment below and thank today's Sherpas. Thank you to Antonio for submitting your portfolio. And to all the Sherpa Network, remember you can submit your portfolio via the link on DomainSherpa.com. NameJet, we're so grateful that for their sponsorship and that they send over these names for us. And to our wonderful Sherpas, Amar Kuba, Jen Sale, and Shane Coltra. Thank you. We'll see you all next time. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.